Welcome back to Views with Views, Jennifer News. This is Jerome Hughes. If you have done so already, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, click the bell notification so that way you'll be notified of future uploads and updates. Excuse me. We see here from the Daily Mail that the new Superman movie will restore the American way to Hero's famous motto after DC Comics controversially dropped it in 2021. This is where director James Gunn, who's also the head, one of the co-head at DC Films, says new movie will highlight the Kansas heritage. Okay, so when I first read about this and read this article, the first thing came to my mind is, okay, does he really mean this, or is he just saying this for the sake of nostalgia, just to get the fans to come back into it, and then next thing you know, boom, hits us with the political ideologies from the usual woke Hollywood agenda. So it says here that DC Comics' new Superman movie will restore truth, justice, and the American way as a hero slogan 2 years after the comic maker controversially dropped the phrase in favor of one that's more inclusive. In other words, for the to further the ESG model with the environmental aspect. Okay. The model's reinstatement was confirmed on Wednesday press release that further revealed that DC Studios has already tapped the Guardians of the Galaxy's James Gunn as the director and set to release in 2025. Superman Legacy, if you will serve as a return to the hero's roots. Showrunners wrote where it says following recent deviations that included a comic that saw him come out as gay and scrapping the aforementioned slogan that originates from a radio serial that aired during World War II. So we're seeing here that they're trying to bring back the OG fans and everything to and they're trying to show that, hey, we're bringing back the original Superman, who was popular during World War II. So we're going straight to the comics, if you can see this. But would this win over the Snyderverse fans? I'm not sure, but we're just going to see how this is going to play out. All right. So this Superman's new since scrapped mission statement, "Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow," spawned like a lot of backlash, potentially spurring DC's recently unveiled decision to ditch the new adage. Okay. So this is the one from 2021, "Truth, Justice, and a Better Tomorrow," and this is the one from. But the one that they'll be focusing on, and this is from the time period of the World War II, saying he wages a never-ending fight for truth, justice, and the American way. Okay, so it's also stated here where Gunn goes in detail for the a brief detail from the press release saying he is the embodiment of truth, justice, and the American way, which is guided by human kindness in a world that sees kindness as old-fashioned. Well, that sounds like a pretty good statement and everything, but will he actually deliver? Will he actually back up with the words that he's talking about, or is he just going to go ahead and further the political agenda of Hollywood? Now, I hope this is true because David Zaslav's not playing any of this. Let y'all know this right now. David Zaslav doesn't want anything political in his content, or is he also telling the truth? But that's a different story for a different day. So James Gunn said it in series of tweets here before. It says, "Yes, I'm directing Superman Legacy which is to be released in July 11, 2025. My brother Matt told me when he saw the release date, he started to cry. I asked him why. He said, dude, it's Dad's birthday. I hadn't realized." So it goes on to talk about how he lost his father, as well as the fact that he was offered Superman years ago. Initially, he said no because of the fact that they didn't like the direction they was going in. Where he stated he didn't like have a way and that he felt unique and fun and emotion that gave Superman the dignity and he deserved. But last year, he saw a way in, stating that he's going to surround Superman's heritage, both Kryptonian parents as well as his Kansas parents, who he is and the choices he makes. Okay, so he decided to go ahead and finally write the script and decided to tag along and everything. But he also defended his decision. Just because I write something doesn't mean I feel in my bones visually and emotionally, though, enough to spend over 2 years directing it, especially not something of this magnitude. But the long and short of it is, I love the script, and I'm incredibly excited as we begin this journey. Okay, so going on to from the movies onto the comic books aspect. Remember before I reported on the fact that they're canceling the woke Superman or bisexual Superman, and it says here, at the time, Jim Lee, DC's chief executive officer, CEO, and publisher, announced before during DC fandom that the Man of Steel's model would be evolving to one on mantra in favor of the less divisive tomorrow phrase. So, in a later in a later press statement, the company intended to explain the decision, stating that it was to better reflect the storylines that we are telling across DC and to honor Superman's incredible legacy over 80 years of building a better world. In other words, times are changing. It's time for Superman to change as well. We're going to continue to reflect the Superman that you all know, but we're going to have a better agenda, which didn't really turn out to work well, by the way. So it continues here that says that the comics writer Tom Taylor at the time defended the choice to write the character as bisexual, arguing this hero sexuality is a small detail, one that will allow LGBTQ people to see themselves in the most powerful superhero in comics. That said, not everyone shared the same welcoming sentiment, with many slamming DC for its creative liberty, where they're asking, why are they sexualizing heroes? Conservative, according to one journalist, Raymond Arroyo, asking Fox News Lauren Ingram at the time, I was a Batman, a superhero, and Spider-Man kid. I love those heroes. We just wanted them to get the bad guys, not a venereal disease. Leave our comic book heroes alone. I can see that not sitting well with the LGBTQ community right for a moment. But they went on ahead and scrapped that. Where it says here that, it basically shows that not the whole audience, not the audience as a whole will like it. So remember, not only are they scrapping, not only is DC Comics looking to scrap the woke version of Superman, but they're also looking to cancel Gay Robin. Okay, so Gay Robin, who's Tim Drake, they say here Robin was changed to a gay bisexual character by DC Comics back in 2021 with the release of Batman Urban Legends #6 after being straight for 30 years in the comics. The end of the issue features Robin, who previously dated girls, coming out and accepting a date from his friend Bernard after the pair battled chaos monsters. Now, it says here that he wasn't popular enough with the fans to carry its own weight as DC Comics has now canceled the title. All right, so this is pretty interesting. This is definitely pretty interesting. And I also reported to you all before that the gay Superman was canceled at DC Comics. I had a lot of comments and everything of people who shared their thoughts and opinions about it, how they felt about it, how the decision made them feel. Okay. And then we also see here before, we're back in August 2021, where Robin was changed to gay or bisexual in the DC Comics. But here's also another kicker. This came on the heels where DC canceled heterosexual Robin after 17 issues when the sales fell flat. So they figured that at the time, heterosexual Robin was doing well, so they decided to go ahead and cancel him to gain more sales. That's a wrong move. But going back to James Gunn, before the DC films, we see that he wants to go ahead and get back. Whether he stated that he wants to get back to the comics, and also made announcements on Twitter that he's looking to work with Ben Affleck and Henry Cavill on future DC projects. But here's the thing, though. Henry Cavill is not making the Witcher mistake again, where he's refusing James Gunn's alleged request to return to DCU to focus on Amazon's Warhammer 400K series. Okay, so in other words, it's basically Henry Cavill talking about that he can't do it because not only because of the busy projects that he's currently working on. Okay, so the article coming from Fandom Wire says that new reports recently emerged according to which the Peacemaker director James Gunn apparently wants Cavill to come back to the DCU, not as Clark Kent, but for a mystery role altogether, which is said to be completely different from Superman's. Which his hands full, though. A busy Cavill is reportedly not planning on taking Gunn's offer at the time. So it says here, with such big studio productions at his arm's length, it seems a little unlikely for Cavill to want to go back to a franchise that not only disrespected his time and efforts, but also ill-treated him to an unsavory extent. With what the previous on Warner Brothers regime has done, in other words, as well as with what James Gunn announced or spoke to him about not returning as taking Superman into a different direction. We also see here that Ben Affleck will not direct another DC movie under James Gunn because of the simple fact that he says, I will not direct something for James Gunn at DC, for the Gunn DC, absolutely not. I have nothing against James Gunn. He's a nice guy. I'm sure he's going to do a great job. I just wouldn't want to go in and direct in the way they're doing that. I'm not interested in that. Not sure what he meant by that, but we'll see as time tells. But he also goes on to say how he blames the bad Justice League experience as a reason for him stepping away from the directing it for DC. Is this the Snyderverse Justice League, or is it the theatrical cut of Justice League? That's what I'm wondering. Okay. He says here that I was going to direct the Batman and Justice League made me go. I'm out. I never want to do any of this again. I'm not suited. He says that was the worst experience I've ever seen in the business, which is full of some SC experiences. It broke my heart. It's starting to seem like it might be the Whedon cut of Justice League that made him upset, as well as under the previous regime of WB Studios and DC under the Sauron regime. He added, you could teach a seminar on all the reasons why this is how to do it, how not to do it, ranging from production to bad decisions to horrible personal tragedy, and just ending with the most monstrous taste in my mouth. As for superheroes fans films as a whole, the air director stated, I don't condescend to that or put it down, but I got to the point where I found it creatively not satisfying. Also just you're sweaty and exhausted, and I thought, I don't want to participate in this in any way, and I don't want to squander any more of my life, which I have a limited amount. So all of this is pretty interesting. All of this is definitely pretty interesting, and with that being said, James Gunn is under a lot of pressure now. Not only with the fans, not only with David Zaslav, but with so many things that's lined up, as well as his plans, he's often got to change it up a bit, since we see that Henry Cavill and Ben Affleck are not looking to go ahead and come back for future projects under DC, under his regime. Okay. Now, let me know your thoughts about this in the comments below. How do you feel about all of this happening? Do you think that James Gunn is actively sticking to what he's saying and everything, and saying he's going to bring back the original model for Superman? Or is he just saying this just to go ahead and get the fandom to come back and then just hit them with the political agenda that's been going on, which is the status quo for the past several years? Okay, so do you think this is legit, or is it just to save face? Do you also think that DC Comics is also going to change up the woke elements that they put out there for the past few years, or are they just going to continue to push it further? Let me know in the comments below. Also, let me know what went wrong in the video. Be sure to add any additional thoughts if you agree with the things that's been stated in the video. Also, be sure to smash the like button and share far and wide across social media if you enjoyed the things that were shared in this video. Also, if you enjoyed all the content I put out there, go ahead, subscribe to the channel and click the bell notification so that way you will be notified of future uploads and updates. Until then, peace.